Chapter 1. Don't Try. This chapter is about a man named Charles Bukowski. He had a tough life. He drank too much, chased women, gambled, and didn't really care about anything. Despite all this, or maybe because of it, he wanted to be a writer. But for a long time, nobody wanted to publish his writing. They said it was terrible and disgusting. Rejection after rejection made him feel really bad, and he sank deeper into sadness and drinking. Bukowski had a boring job at the post office, which didn't pay well. He spent most of his money on alcohol and gambling. At night, he'd drink and sometimes write poetry. 30 years passed like this, with him stuck in a cycle of drinking, gambling, and loneliness. Then, when he was 50, a small publishing house took a chance on him. They didn't have much money to offer, but they liked his writing style. Bukowski had a choice: stick with his boring job and go crazy, or take a chance on being a writer, even if it meant struggling financially. He chose to be a writer, even if it meant he might starve. After signing a publishing contract, Bukowski wrote his first novel, Post Office, in just 3 weeks. He didn't dedicate it to anyone, writing dedicated to nobody in the dedication. This novel was a success, and Bukowski went on to publish more novels and hundreds of poems, selling over 2 million copies of his books. This success surprised everyone, including Bukowski himself. Bukowski's life seems like the perfect American dream story. A man who never gave up, fought for his dreams, and eventually achieved great success. However, despite his fame and fortune, Bukowski considered himself a loser. He didn't try to be anything else. He was brutally honest about his flaws and failures in his writing. His success came from his honesty about himself, even the worst parts. Bukowski didn't care much about being successful or improving himself. He remained true to who he was, even after becoming famous. This challenges the idea that success and self-improvement always go hand in hand. Today, our culture often pressures us to be constantly improving and striving for perfection in every aspect of life. But Bukowski's story shows that success doesn't always come from trying to be perfect or bettering oneself. Sometimes it comes from accepting and being honest about who you are, flaws and all. Think about all the usual advice we hear, like be positive or believe in yourself. It often focuses on what we lack or what we think we're not good enough at. For example, you might read about making more money because you feel you don't have enough, or you repeat affirmations about being beautiful because you feel insecure about your looks. The problem is, this constant focus on what's better or superior just reminds us of what we don't have or what we're not. Happy people don't need to keep telling themselves they're happy. They just are. There's a saying that the smallest dog barks the loudest. Confident people don't need to prove they're confident, and wealthy people don't need to convince anyone they're rich. Either you are or you're not. The world bombards us with messages that more stuff equals a better life. But constantly caring about everything, like having a better car or a fancier vacation, can be overwhelming and bad for our mental health. It makes us chase after fake happiness instead of focusing on what truly matters. So, the key to a good life isn't caring about more things. It's caring about fewer things, focusing on what's real and important in the present moment. Sometimes our brains play tricks on us that can make us feel really stressed out or angry. Let's say you're nervous about talking to someone. That nervousness makes you worry even more about why you're nervous. Now you're anxious about being anxious. It's like a never-ending cycle of anxiety. Or maybe you get mad easily at small things, and then you get mad at yourself for being so angry. You realize that being angry all the time isn't good, so you get angry at yourself for that too. It's like being stuck in a loop of anger. Or perhaps you worry a lot about doing everything perfectly, and then you start worrying about how much you're worrying. Or you feel guilty for every little mistake you make, and then you feel guilty for feeling so guilty. It's like being trapped in a loop of negative thoughts and emotions, and it can feel like you're spiraling out of control. But here's the thing, it's actually pretty normal. As humans, we have the ability to think about our thoughts, which is pretty cool. So even though it can feel overwhelming at times, it's just part of being human. Today's society, with its focus on consumerism and social media, makes us feel like having negative experiences like anxiety or feeling down is not okay. When we scroll through social media, everyone seems to be living perfect lives, getting married, getting expensive gifts, or becoming instant millionaires with fancy apps. Meanwhile, we might be at home doing something mundane like flossing our cat, feeling like our lives suck even more in comparison. This constant exposure to others' seemingly perfect lives can make us overly stressed, anxious, and self-loathing. Back in the day, people like our grandparents just accepted when they felt bad and moved on with life. But now, if we feel bad even for a short while, we're bombarded with images of people who seem to be having the time of their lives, which makes us feel even worse. We end up feeling bad about feeling bad, guilty about feeling guilty, and angry about feeling angry. It's like a never-ending cycle of negativity. But here's the thing, not caring about feeling bad can actually help. By accepting that feeling bad is okay and not giving it too much importance, we break free from this negative cycle. We're constantly bombarded with messages about how to be happy, but ironically, the pursuit of happiness can sometimes make us feel even worse. Accepting our negative experiences, on the other hand, can lead to a more positive outlook on life. So, instead of constantly chasing happiness, sometimes it's better to just accept that life has its ups and downs. Imagine you really want to be happy all the time. You think if you have more money, you'll be happy. If you're more attractive, you'll be happy. If you're loved by everyone, you'll be happy. But the more you chase after these things, the more you feel like you're lacking them. It's like trying to catch a house that keeps moving farther away from you the closer you get. It's kind of like when I took LSD and felt like I couldn't reach a house, no matter how much I walked towards it. I know, kind of weird, but stay with me. The philosopher Alan Watts called this the backwards law. It's the idea that the more you chase after feeling good all the time, the less satisfied you become because you're always focused on what you don't have. Albert Camus, another philosopher, said you'll never be happy if you keep searching for what happiness is. It's like saying, don't try too hard. Now, you might be thinking, but what about my goals? What about the stuff I've been working towards? Well, sometimes when you care less about something, you actually do better at it. It's like when you stop stressing about something, things just start falling into place. The thing is, everything good in life usually comes with some bad stuff too. Like going to the gym might be painful, but it makes you healthier. Failing in business teaches you how to succeed. Being open about your flaws makes you more confident. Basically, embracing the bad stuff can lead to good stuff. So, instead of trying to avoid pain or struggles, embrace them. Don't give too many fucks about them, and you'll become unstoppable. It's like, in my life, the things I didn't stress over made the biggest difference. You probably know someone who didn't care about what others thought and ended up doing something amazing. Maybe you've had moments like that too, where you just went for it without worrying about what people would think. For example, I quit my finance job after only 6 weeks to start an internet business, and then later decided to sell most of my stuff and move to South America. I didn't care about what anyone thought, I just did it. These moments define our lives, like switching careers, joining a band, or breaking up with someone who wasn't good for us. Not giving a fuck means facing life's toughest challenges head-on and still taking action. But not caring isn't as easy as it sounds. It's about focusing on what truly matters to you and ignoring the rest. We often waste our energy caring about things that don't really matter, like a rude cashier or a canceled TV show, while ignoring bigger problems like money issues or family problems. Here's the reality check. We're all gonna die one day. We only have a limited amount of time and energy, so we should choose carefully where to invest our fucks. If we waste them on everything and everyone, we'll end up feeling frustrated and unhappy. Learning not to care about everything takes practice and discipline. It means prioritizing what's important to you based on your values. Otherwise, you'll end up feeling entitled to always be happy and comfortable, which is a recipe for misery. So, instead of getting caught up in every little thing, focus on what truly matters to you and let go of the rest. It's the key to living a more fulfilling life without getting stuck in a cycle of frustration and disappointment. Not giving a fuck doesn't mean being indifferent. It means being comfortable with being different. Indifference isn't cool. It's just a way to hide our fears and insecurities. People who act indifferent are often afraid of what others think, so they pretend not to care. But the truth is, We all care about something. The key is to care about the right things, things that truly matter to us. Choose what to give a fuck about. We all have limited time and energy, so we need to choose wisely where to invest it. For example, when Mark Manson's mom was cheated out of money, he didn't shrug it off. He got angry and decided to take action because it mattered to him. Not giving a fuck means focusing on what's important to us and not wasting our energy on things that don't matter in the long run. Reserve your fucks for what truly matters. Instead of caring about everything, save your energy for the things that really count, like family, friends, and your goals. People who do this are admired because they have the courage to stand up for what they believe in, even if it means facing adversity or criticism. They laugh off failures and keep pushing forward because they know what's important to them. Adversity is part of life. No matter where you go, there will always be challenges waiting for you. But that's okay. The goal isn't to avoid adversity, but to find the challenges that are worth facing. When you focus on what truly matters to you, you'll find the strength to overcome any obstacle. In short, not giving a fuck isn't about being indifferent or avoiding problems. It's about prioritizing what's important to you and having the courage to face adversity head-on. It's about living life on your own terms and not letting fear or insecurity hold you back. To not care about adversity, you need to care about something more important. Imagine you're in a grocery store and you see an elderly lady getting upset over a 30-cent coupon. Why does she care so much about such a small amount? Well, maybe cutting coupons is all she has. She might be lonely, with no family around, dealing with health issues and struggling financially. So when the cashier refuses her coupon, it feels like a big deal to her because it's one of the few things she has to hold on to. People who care too much about little things often lack bigger things to care about. If you're constantly bothered by trivial stuff like your ex's new Facebook photo or the batteries dying in your remote, it might be because you don't have more meaningful things going on in your life. The problem isn't the small annoyances, it's that you're not focusing your energy on things that truly matter to you. Having meaningful goals prevents you from sweating the small stuff. When you have something important and meaningful in your life, you're less likely to get worked up over minor inconveniences. Instead of wasting your energy on trivial matters, you can channel it into pursuing your goals and making a positive impact. In short, if you find yourself getting upset over small things, it might be a sign that you need to find something more meaningful to focus on. By directing your energy towards important goals and values, you'll be less bothered by insignificant annoyances and live a more fulfilling life. You're always choosing what to care about. When we're young, we care about everything: the color of our socks, what people think of us, whether someone calls us back. But as we grow older, we realize that many of these things don't really matter in the long run. We become more selective about what we give our energy to and start focusing only on what truly matters to us. Maturity is about giving a fuck about what's truly important. As we mature, we learn to prioritize. We stop caring about trivial things and start focusing on what's truly meaningful: our relationships, our passions, the things that bring us joy. We accept ourselves, flaws and all, and find contentment in simplicity. Simplifying our lives makes us happier. As we enter middle age, we have less energy and more clarity about what's important. We reserve our energy for the things that truly matter, like our loved ones and our hobbies. And surprisingly, this simplicity brings us a lot of happiness. We realize that we don't need to chase after everything, just the things that make us truly happy. So, in essence, the message is to be selective about what you care about. Focus on what's truly important and find happiness in simplicity. And sometimes, not trying so hard might be the key to a happier life. The point of the book: this book is all about helping you figure out what really matters in life and what doesn't. It addresses a common problem where people feel like everything has to be perfect all the time, which leads to self-blame and unhealthy coping mechanisms. The feedback loop from hell: when we believe that it's not okay for things to go wrong sometimes, we blame ourselves and spiral into negative behaviors. This belief is like a cycle that keeps getting worse. Practical enlightenment: the book promotes the idea of becoming comfortable with the inevitable challenges and suffering in life. By accepting that life isn't perfect, we become stronger and more resilient. Not about solving problems. Unlike some self-help books, this one doesn't promise to solve all your problems. Instead, it teaches you to use your pain and challenges as tools for growth. It helps you learn how to let go of what's not important and focus on what truly matters. Learning to let go, ultimately, the book is about learning to let go of unnecessary worries and expectations. It encourages you to simplify your life, trust in yourself, and worry less about the small stuff. It's about finding peace and meaning even in the midst of struggles. Summary: The Art of Giving Fewer FX, a practical guide to living a happier life. Identify your FX. Take some time to think about the things in your life that truly matter to you. These could be your relationships, your health, your passions, or your personal growth. Write them down and prioritize them based on what brings you the most fulfillment. Recognize what doesn't matter. Similarly, make a list of things that you tend to worry about but don't really add value to your life. These might include other people's opinions, minor inconveniences, or societal pressures. Challenge yourself to let go of these unnecessary concerns. Practice acceptance. Embrace the idea that life isn't perfect, and that's okay. Understand that setbacks, failures, and challenges are a natural part of the human experience. Instead of resisting them, learn to accept them as opportunities for growth and learning. Focus on what you can control. Shift your attention away from things that are beyond your control, such as external events or other people's actions. Instead, focus on what you can control: your own thoughts, behaviors, and reactions. Learn to let go. Practice letting go of expectations and attachments to specific outcomes. Be open to the idea that things may not always go according to plan, and that's all right. Cultivate a mindset of flexibility and adaptability. Set boundaries. Establish boundaries to protect your time, energy, and well-being. Learn to say no to things that don't align with your priorities or values, and don't be afraid to distance yourself from toxic relationships or environments. Practice gratitude. Regularly take time to appreciate the positive aspects of your life, no matter how small they may seem. Cultivating a sense of gratitude can help shift your focus away from what's lacking to what you already have. Seek support. Surround yourself with supportive friends, family members, or mentors who encourage your personal growth and well-being. Don't hesitate to seek professional help if you're struggling with mental health issues or need additional support. Reflect and adjust. Periodically, review your priorities and assess how well you're aligning your actions with them. Be willing to make adjustments as needed and continue to refine your approach to living a fulfilling life. Take action. Finally, put your plan into action. Start incorporating these principles into your daily life, one step at a time. Remember that change takes time and effort, so be patient with yourself as you work towards a happier, more fulfilling life.